Good evening, everybody. It's Lynn here, the Go Live Granny, and I'm live streaming here on Sunday, the 9th of March, 2025. And I can see Bob's in the stream already. Hello, Bob. How are you doing? I'm not quite sure whether this is going to tip itself on its side again, like it usually does. And I've no idea why it does it. So let's see whether it does or it doesn't. Let's hope we stay up the right way. But if we don't, I'll just turn the camera around. So what sort of week have you had? I'm just hoping that some more people will be coming in shortly. Let's just go on here. Anyway, so do you think I've had shenanigans this week? Do you think it's been that sort of week? Hello, Tina. Nice to see you. So we have YouTube and we have Facebook. So we've got both channels going well. Okay, that's good. I just want to... Whoops. Hello, Tracy. Thank you. Yes, please tag everybody, folks, because I haven't had time to invite anybody. I just put it up and then I was getting on with things. So, Tracy, you're not allowed to answer this, Tracy. Who thinks I've had shenanigans this week? Do you think I have? Do you think I've had any shenanigans? Let me know what you think. And if I have, would they be travel shenanigans? Except that oh, there we go again. I don't know why I've gone on my side. I really don't know what is going on with this camera. I'm linking with my boys next week. Hopefully they'll be able to sort me out. So wait a minute. Let me just turn myself up the right way. Let's see if we can come up the right way. I like to stream in landscape, but because it's easier for me, it fills the whole screen. It doesn't have those silly black lines down the side. But, oh, it's your birthday today, Bob. Right, in a minute when we get a few more people in, we'll sing happy birthday to you. What we will do is get those people who are in already to put some emojis in the down in the box there. Now, I've got new glasses on and I'm not sure whether I should go and get my old glasses for a minute. I might just do that, or will I? Hang on, let me just go and get my old glasses back and I'll explain why in a minute. Don't go away, folks. Just talk amongst yourselves. That's if I can find my other glasses. Oh no. Back I come. Back I come. Here I am. Whoops. And you know what? Good evening, Ailey. Good evening, Lynn, and everyone watching. Happy birthday. So you're saying happy birthday to Bob, Ailey. Now, I've got two glasses cases, and I don't know which ones are my old ones and which ones are my new. Oh, yes. Oh, no, those are my very old glasses. Oh, let's put those away. This must be the old pair. Hello, Adrian. Right. So the old pair looks like the new pair. But I'm just going to see if... Hello, Steve. Steve, window cleaner Steve is in the house. And we have a birthday boy in the house. So please put your... Right, I think I'm going to wear these. I've got new ones, but I think I might need to wear the old ones just for now. And I'll explain why in a minute. So let's pop those back in the case. So that's one of the things I've done this week, folks, is have some new glasses. But they don't look just like the old glasses because they're the same frames. So did you get the same glasses as... Yeah, I did. I've got no, not bifocals. I've got varifocals. So bifocals, they said I would have a line across the middle, but varifocals, it changes from the top to the bottom. So that's in this pair. But I'm getting used to them, and I've changed them now because I'm trying to. So on my new glasses, which I went to get on Tuesday, Was it Tuesday or was it Wednesday? I can't remember. What was the day I went to get my glasses? I don't remember which day it was, but it doesn't matter. Earlier this week, I went to get my new glasses. Hi, Susan. Nice to see you in. And what had I done? I'd been doing all sorts of things that day, hadn't I? I worked my way down. Oh, I know. I was meeting... You think you'll stay in that house? It's easier to use. So Steve has gone. Look, Steve was there. Look, in Facebook with the green, well, not the green. Oh my goodness, what's the matter with me? With the blue Facebook sign, he's gone over to YouTube because he thinks it's easier to use over there. Perfectly fine, Steve. So that's right. I think it was on Wednesday. What day did I come back to the island? I can't remember. I came back earlier this. No, I didn't. I didn't come back earlier this week. I came last week. I came on Friday, didn't I? Before, so I live streamed from home last week, and here we are again. Oh, so Tracy's reminding me I went to get my glasses on Wednesday. That's right. So I did. It was one of the reasons I had to come back to the island this week was because I had got an appointment to get my glasses, and then I fitted in lots of other things. And so the day that I went to get my glasses, I started further up the town. And I did all sorts of bits and pieces, popping in and doing various bits and pieces. I know I ended up in Isle of Wool, and where I met Jan. And that's right. So has anybody said whether I've had shenanigans or not? I'm gonna, while you're thinking about whether there's been any shenanigans, I'm going to drink a swig of my coffee. What is shenanigans? Oh, Bob, I think we told you last week what shenanigans are. It's when something goes wrong. Can somebody phrase it better than me? Issues, troublesome things, problems. So like when I go on a train and the people don't get me off the train who are supposed to help me, I call that shenanigans. When something doesn't go how you think it's going to be, it's shenanigans. So maybe it's that sort of thing. I don't know. Does that make it any clearer, Bob? Does it make it as clear as mud? I'm not very good at explaining, am I? But never mind. That's so just everything goes pear-shaped. That's it, Steve. Well done. That's a good explanation. Everything goes pear-shaped. So that's another saying. Absolutely. So when it goes pear-shaped, it means a pear is like that. So it starts off like this. And if it goes like that, that's shenanigans. The world will look bigger for you now, Lynn. Well, yes and no. It's just that I used to wear these glasses. These are the old ones. I used to wear on the bottom here, because I'm long-sighted up there. But if I need to read, I need to be able to see it closer. So that's that's why I would always have them here, because if I wanted to look at things close up, I could see here. But if I wanted to look into the distance, I needed to look over the top of my glasses. And so this time they offered me varifocals. Oh, well done. Thank you, Tracy, for bringing Jane Ireland in. She prompted her, because remember last week she was... you came in right at the end, didn't you? Now, I'm not promising you a very, very long broadcast tonight. And that is because I have got to get ready, because I'm traveling again tomorrow. And so, and everything's not packed yet. And also I need an early night, and or reasonably early night. And I'll tell you, I'll come to that in a minute. So let's go back to earlier in the week. It's so nice to have people who prompt me, because I'm getting forgetful. I think it's one of those things that comes with age, and I keep forgetting things, and so I just love it when people prompt me about what I was talking about or other things and whatever. So that's right. I had to go to Isle of Wool, and I was meeting Jan in Isle of Wool, because I'm doing something for Jan, and so we met up in Isle of Wool, and that was a good place to meet. Right, Bob is going to shopping with his friends and having a barbecue later for your birthday. So, folks, I want to see lots of the birthday emojis in before I sing to Bob. You'll get me singing to Bob if you put the birthday emojis in. Steve's asking how your nan is. So please pop the birthday emojis in and I'll have my coffee. I went to have a swig of it and I don't think I did. You forgot to, when you were talking earlier, did you ever hear back from Toby? Was that earlier in the week, you mean? I was talking to Tristan today. I think I have communicated with Toby earlier in the week, if that's what you mean, Tracy. Totally forgotten what that's all about, but never mind. I'm still waiting to see some birthday emojis coming in. I can't see any yet. So if you put the birthday emojis in, then I will sing. So I don't know. Can you do the emojis on YouTube? I know you can do them on Facebook, but I don't know. Oh, there we go. Yes, Ailey's putting in some birthday emojis coming in from Scotland. Let's show, because Bob is on YouTube. There we are. There's some of the birthday emojis. Let's see who else. Oh, no, Tracy, thank you. Wrong, Toby. No, Tracy, I haven't. And I need to follow up on that one. Bob is liking, he's obviously liking the birthday emojis, so there we go. No, I didn't, Tracy. I didn't hear back from that, Toby, and I need to follow that up, but not now, because I've got to get ready to go on my travels again. So watch out for tomorrow and see if I get shenanigans tomorrow. Well, there have been shenanigans this week. 1 or 2 shenanigans. Not shenanigans with my glasses. That was fun. Well, not at the time when I got my glasses. Maybe later in the week a shenanigan came to do with my glasses. Tracy, I can see that you've made a comment, but I can't see what it is. Hang on, let's see if I'll bring it up. Will it show? Tracy's put something in, but all I can see is a white square. So I don't know what that is. Wait, I tell you what, I might be able to see it if I go over here. Hello, good morning, Hazel, coming in from Australia. How are you? We're just sort of sorting out whether you think I've had shenanigans or not. I'm just, Tracy, you're on, right. You are on, let's go on there. Oh, no, wait a minute, stop, shush, I want to take the sound off. Take the sound off. I'm watching on Facebook, but I can't see over there. No, I'll have to stay on here. Let's get rid of my face off of there. I don't want to watch it. Thank you for all the birthday love. Come on, we want some more birthday love. I'm sure Tracy was putting birthday love in, but I just can't see what the birthday love was there. So that's right. I worked my way. I went into Ryde and I worked my way down from top of Ryde down until I got to the Isle of Wool. And then when I'd finished at the Isle of Wool, well, that's right. I linked up with, I wasn't supposed to be linking up with Tracy when I was in the Isle of Wool. I was linking up with Jan. And then I saw Tracy and her family going by, but they looked in the Isle of Wool because it's, you know, it's a Go Live Granny friendly place. And I saw them and I waved and I told them to come in. So they came in and we chatted. Hazel's putting in a cake, 2 pieces of cake, a piece of cake, a cake with candles and a glass of wine. Tracy's comment is a happy birthday picture. Thank you, Tracy. Susan. Susan's telling me what's on Tracy's picture, but I don't know why. Sometimes it does that. It just puts up. No, when I look at it in my comments thread, it's just got your name and nothing there. If I touch it like this, it puts a white square and I still can't see what you've put. I know that you've made a comment, but I can't tell what it is. So shenanigans on here, as always. Good evening, Mitchell. Good evening, Paul Mitchell, coming in from Paynton in Devon. It's his birthday on Friday. Right, well, we could sing to I'll do 2 sings. 2 sing songs. I'll because next Sunday I may not be live streaming. We got lots of family celebrations going on next weekend, and I don't know whether I'll be traveling or where I'll be next Sunday evening. So what I might do is move next week's broadcast to Monday evening, okay? And so I won't. I'll tell you now, I won't live stream on Sunday because it's all family time. So on Monday next week, I'll stream. So what I will do, Paul, why don't I do your birthday next week and do Bob's birthday today? So come in on Monday, Paul, and I will sing to you. Actually, no, let's sing to you both now. Otherwise, I might forget, especially if it's a busy weekend for me. So let's have, Tracy's putting in lots of lovely parcels there. Paul, don't forget to put in some emojis for Bob, because I want a few more emojis and then I will do the singing. So anyway, let's think about my week. I must make notes next time because I never remember what I do. It's up to my community to remember. So because I forget. So anyway, I was in Isle of Wool, and I'd gone to Isle of Wool because I had Shenanigans with my granddaughter's cardigan that I was knitting for the wedding. Now, she's not wearing it in the day of the wedding. Oh, look, Tracy's putting in balloons. But oh, you can do it on YouTube. There we are. Bob's putting in some birthday wishes for Paul, and Paul put some in for Bob, and then we'll get going with the singing in a minute. So I had the Shenanigans. So some of you have seen that I was knitting this lovely white fluffy cardigan. Well, I've got my son that's getting married. He's got two children, two little children, and I was knitting them both cardigans. Well, I knitted one and finished it at Christmas while I was with them. I didn't get the second one done, but I said I would get it done. It wasn't for anything special, just because they're special. That's all, that I wanted to make cardigans for the girls. And I bought some wool in the Isle of Wool, and it was fluffy wool, but it was multicolored. It was a good bargain. It had red and white on one end, and then it would go into white, fluffy white wool, and then it would go into green and white wool, and then it would repeat all the way along through this ball of wool. And Anne, who works for Helen in Isle of Wool, she had made some white things. So she'd cut the wool where the colour changed, and she'd used the red to make some red and white things, and she'd used the green and white to make some green and white things, and then she'd used all the wool separately. And I thought, what a great idea. I've got lots of that wool. I'll cut it. I bought it because it was mega bargain. It was an absolute bargain. And so I bought it, and then I thought, oh, the white will make nice cardigans for the girls. So as I say, I made one at Christmas, and that fitted, and that was brilliant. So I said I'd make the other one and I would send it. Well, you know, we're quite a way back from the Christmas holidays, but I've had lots and lots of things to do. And then my future daughter-in-law said that they would be wearing them on the evening of the wedding. And so I thought, oh, I better get on and finish that, hadn't I? And so I got on and I nearly finished it. Actually, let me go and get it, because the one that I nearly finished isn't finished, and I had to make another one. I did have Shenanigans. Let me go and get it. I'm coming back in a second. Don't run away. I'm back. Here I come. Ready or not. Oh, isn't that what they say when somebody's hiding? Oh dear. I've got a whole string of wool that caught up with me. I tell you what, before I tell this, let's do the happy birthday before I forget that as well. Here we go. Are you ready? Happy birthday to you. I'll do Bob first, then I'll do Paul. And so I do you separately, so you get your own messages, right? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Bob. Happy birthday to you. And today is your birthday, and hope you've had a wonderful time. Or are you just up? Is it early? I think back for a very important day. I am. Could somebody tag Kath into the broadcast? I don't think she's in yet either. So that was for Bob. And Steve is saying happy birthday, Bob. And this is for Paul, who's got a birthday on Friday. So that's the 14th of March. And so here we go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Paul. Happy birthday to you. And we hope you have a wonderful birthday when it actually comes. So you've got a few more days for your birthday, but Bob's having his birthday today. So I've got lots of family celebrations at the end of this week, birthdays, weddings, all sorts of things. So it's going to be a wonderful time. And that's, part of the reason it's going to be difficult for me to live stream next Sunday. So, and tonight, I don't want to be too long, and I'll get to explaining why I need to get an early night tonight. Well, partly because I'm traveling, but there was other shenanigans went on, as you might imagine. Could you ever imagine me having a week without shenanigans? I don't think so. Ailey's put something else there. Look, she's put something there, and that's just come up as a white box again. I don't get it. I don't understand why it does that on Facebook, but there you go. So anyway, this was the cardigan that I knitted, but in white. And so the other balls of wool were variegated. They were, see, that's pink and white. I had red and white, and then I had white and green and white, all in the same ball, all joined up. So I cut all the white off, made the other cardigan and sent it off. Gave it to them, and it was fine, seemed to be fine. And then I was knitting this one. Thank you for my lovely singing. Oh, my siblings used to say my singing was horrible, so I never used to do much singing because they made me feel a bit ashamed of my voice. And then I thought, you know what, I don't care. I'd rather sing to you, maybe not very tunefully, than not sing to you at all, because I think, we need to greet each other. Anyway, this is the cardigan I didn't send. So I got it, I got it all knitted, stitched up. Well, nearly all stitched up. I hadn't quite finished stitching it. And I noticed, I'd stitched the arm up, stitched the sleeve up. I've still got the side bits to stitch up. And I was doing this in the evening. And of course, the light is not so great in the evening. And it's good to have, good light. I have got LED lights, but it still was not as good as daylight. Then I stitched up the other sleeve. And I went to stitch up the rest, and I noticed, and I don't know if you can see on there, but the top bit is green and that bit is white. And when I was knitting it, if you can't sing, just humming is taking part. Absolutely, thank you. Bob's saying happy birthday to Paul for Friday. I'm going to put that up there so Paul can see, because Paul is on Facebook and Bob is on YouTube. That's it. There we go. So I didn't notice, but look, I think you can probably see that the top of this sleeve, at that point, it's white here, and it's a pale, very pale green there. But one way, when I was looking at it, it looks white. Can you see now? I've turned it. That looks white, and this looks green. And it was just a nightmare, because I looked at it and I thought, it's green. It's green. Why is it green? The rest is all white. Then I looked at the other sleeve, and weirdly, the same things happened on, I don't know if you can see it so well on that one. Weirdly, the top of this one is green too. That doesn't show so well. And of course, the light's not very good in here. I don't know how it did it on the two top bits of the sleeve. And so I started to try and unpick it. This is for my granddaughter, one of my granddaughters. So this is the one who's for the one who's 5. The one who's 3 has already got hers. They're sisters, those two. So I couldn't believe it. So I tried to undo it. But if any of you ever knitted with this sort of fluffy wool, look, it's a thick, fluffy wool. It's a nightmare to unpick. And I started to unpick it, and it was going to spoil the whole thing, and it wasn't going to work. It wasn't going to be easy to unpick. I started unpicking it a little bit there and gave up, because I decided I could knit the cardigan, another one, quicker than I could unpick this and put it right. because it was going to take so long to try and unpick it. And you can't see with this sort of wool where it's all stitched up. It's just a nightmare. So Shenanigans it was. So I decided that rather than waste time on this, just go to Isle of Wool and buy. So what I think what happened, because this was a ball of wool that had green in it and red in it as well, I wonder whether some of the dye from the green wool came off onto the white bit. That's all I can think of, but it only happened in that little bit, just at the tops of the sleeves. I don't know why. The rest is absolutely fine. So what I decided to do, I enjoy knitting so much. So I just thought, right, I'll knit it again. It won't take too long. Ha ha, that's what I thought. It won't take too long. I'm a quick knitter. It grows quickly because it's thick wool, and no problem. Well, that's what I thought. It is lovely and soft, Ailey. She's saying it's a beautiful white wool and it looks better. It is lovely and soft. It really is. So rather than just discard this or throw it away or anything, what I decided is, when I'm not under time, this week I've got wedding things to do, other wedding things. I've got paper craft wedding stuff to do this week. But so I thought, rather than throw this away and waste it, I'll just make the other one. I'll knit up the other cardigan, get it done, get it in the post. Although I'm going up, obviously, I'm going for the wedding. I wanted this to arrive in advance to make sure that it actually fitted. It's not for the wedding part itself. They're wearing them in the evening. And I just thought, well, let's make sure it fits. If it does, then I don't even have to knit another one. If it doesn't fit, then I might have to. But I think it's pretty much, I hope it's going to fit. Anyway, there was me thinking, oh, it'd be so quick to... So I got the wool on Thursday. By Thursday evening, I had knitted all the back and both the fronts and started on one of the sleeves. This is for the new one that's gone now. Oh, fantastic. Oh, Bob, that's wonderful news. Look, he has been inspired by me, so he's joined a knitting club and he started yesterday. That is brilliant, Bob. Excellent. Glad you're enjoying that. It's so relaxing. So that's great. So, what was I going to say? Yes. So I got on well with it on Wednesday evening. And then the idea was to get it done, and posted. So wait a minute, I did that on Wednesday. That's right. And I really wanted to get it posted on Friday. That's right. Wanted to post it on Friday. So I was going to get it finished on Thursday. And I was going into town to meet. I was meeting up with Tracy and her family, Tracy and her daughter. And because we'd been promising to meet up for coffee for ages, and although I saw her on Wednesday, we didn't have time to do coffee because I had to go get my glasses, and so we decided to have a coffee meet on Friday. So I thought, oh, I'll finish this on Thursday. I'll get it packaged up, and when I go into town to meet Tracy and Tasha, she's got a Tash and I've got a Tasha. Then I'll go to the post office and post it. Well, that would have been okay, but I had an issue. And I don't know if you can see, wait a minute, I don't know if I can hold it up high enough. Let me show you. Let me show you on the pattern. So you can see that it's curved here. It's got curved here, and curved there. So you knit the cardigan and then you pick up stitches all around here and knit a border. And that's where the problem started, because when I was picking up... Now, don't forget, I've been knitting for 50 years plus. I know how to do these things, but this just would not go right. As I picked up... I was working on one of the borders, and as I was picking up the stitches and knitting the border, it wouldn't lie flat. It was driving me bonkers. This one hasn't got its border on yet, because I never finished it in order to do the border. So it was driving me bonkers. It wouldn't lay flat. It was curling up. And that wasn't good enough for me, So I unpicked it and I did it again. And it still curled up. So I unpicked it and I did it again. This time I added some extra stitches in. I made some more stitches on the curve. I put an extra couple of stitches in because It needed to lie flat, and the only way I could get it to do it was put extra stitches in. So that's what I did, and then it lay flat. But of course, I was not ready to. I wasn't ready to take it. It wasn't ready when I was going to meet Tracy and Tash. So I went home on Friday night after I'd seen Tash and Tracy. I went home and decided that I've got to get it done. I wanted it in the post on Saturday morning. I was going to put it on a special delivery, hoping that it would arrive on Monday. You pay more for that, but they couldn't. When I did post it on Saturday, not Friday, they couldn't guarantee that it would get there on Monday. They could guarantee it would get there on Tuesday, and I thought, well, there's no point in paying extra because I might post it today first class, and it might get there anyway for without paying the extra £5. So hopefully it will get there on Monday. So it's very important that you at least give anything a try if you want to. Absolutely, that's true. Let me just go back because there's comments here. Ailey saying, thank you, Lynn, for sharing the smoothie hats video I shared on my Facebook page today. It was from 2 years ago when Ailey knitted 187 of the smoothie hats for Age UK Isle of Wight. Do you remember Yvonne King knitted 200 smoothie hats back then? Yes, she did. Linda Pugh has messaged me to say that she's just done 200 hats that she will be sending me. I think on the smoothie hat front, we're now up to about 761 or 771 hats from the Go Live Granny community so far that I know about. I don't know how Jackie Hennessy's done some. I don't know how many she's done. So there will be more. So we might be getting 900 so far. And of course, I'm not doing smoothie hats at the minute, although I did do one smoothie hat today, and I will be doing them on the train tomorrow because I don't do fancy knitting on the train because I need to do something simple and something that, obviously not white knitting on the train because if the wool falls on the floor, then it will get dirty. So not anything like that. So I will be back to smoothie hats soon, but I've got other things to do first. Let's have a look. Ailey says she's a teacher for people with disabilities and special needs. She teaches at the Centred Scott office in Invergordon, knitting arts and crafts. There are 2 men in her class learning to knit socks with your supervision. That's excellent. Do I still go to Slimming World? Yes, I do. I've had a bit of a rogue week this week, Bob. I went a bit off plan, but you know what? I could. I've lost over 3 stone, and if I go rogue for a day or two, that's not going to make a lot of difference. And then this week I'm back on plan again now. I just felt like being a bit roguish and naughty. But it doesn't seem to have made much difference, so that's good. So I'm back on plan now. I've still lost more than 3 stone. So I'm pleased. I'm feeling happy. I see lots of people who keep telling me that I look good. So that's nice to know that people have noticed that I've made a difference. And so yes, I'm feeling good. Yeah, so I finally got this done, doing the borders, but I had to knit through the night because I wanted it to be in the post on Saturday, which meant I didn't really get any sleep on Friday night. Thank you, Bob. Bob's saying I'm looking great on it. Thank you very much. After the wedding, I will post up pictures of me in my wedding outfit. So then I'll let you see that, but I'm not showing that before the wedding. I'm saving all that. I've done sneak peeks of my bag or bits and pieces, but not done much else. I'm showing off that. These are the wedding colours for me, not the bridesmaids. The bridesmaids are not. We didn't have to match with the bridesmaids. So those are my wedding colours. Can you see? They're beautiful. Ailey's saying back in the World War days, men had no option but to knit their own socks during wartime. And you know what, Ailey? I have never knitted socks. Isn't that awful? Tracy's saying it's her fault she didn't get it finished on Friday. Tracy's saying it's her fault I didn't get the cardigan finished on Friday. But she finally got her gold stars. Yes, she did. That's right. Yes, I've forgotten that. The reason I didn't finish making the cardigan on Thursday night was because I was meeting Tracy on Friday, and for 5 years I've been promising her a gold star. Back in 2019, so it's more than 5 years. It was end of summer 2019 when Tracy had been helping me, and she and her family worked like Trojans to get the carnival float ready in time. And so I said to Tracy back then I would give her a gold star. Well, I've never given her the gold star until Friday. And on Friday, I gave her more than one gold star. Look, here's the things I was cutting them out with, the stars. Look, I made it in beautiful gold. So I got lots of lovely gold card. I had a white box, which I covered with a gold card, and then I put lots of gold stars on the outside of the box. If you look on my Facebook page, you will see the box of stars. Also inside, I know that she and her family like, well, they're not so keen on the chocolate oranges, I don't think. I think they like the mint ones and the plain one, not the plain ones, the just milk ones. I wasn't sure. So in the box, I put 5 oranges. I did put a chocolate orange in the middle, but that's only because I didn't want to spoil the pattern. So I had 2 of the ones in blue wrappers and 2 of the ones in green wrappers, and then the orange one. And the orange one was inside a knitted gold star, because I think it was in the 2025 calendar that I got that Patricia so very kindly paid for. It was a calendar full of chocolate orange covers. So some of you will remember that I was making a lot of chocolate orange covers for a fundraiser for things to do with my granddaughters, my older granddaughters. And I wanted the calendar because there were 12 more patterns on the calendar. I bought the 2024 calendar, but then Patricia paid for the 2025 calendar, and so I had 12 on one calendar and 12 on another. That was another 24 patterns, and of course it was cheaper getting them that way than buying all the patterns individually. But one of them, I think it was the December one, was actually a gold star, knitted gold star. That was that was a chocolate orange cover. So that's what went in the middle. Carol says she thought you thought I was away again. Blink and I will be. I'm here tonight and then I'm not. And next Sunday, I'm not going to live stream. I will be very busy with family matters. And I don't know whether I'll be don't know whether I'll be in a car traveling or whether I will be based anywhere, but it's not a night for me live streaming because I'll be busy with my family. So, but anyway, and I'm not going to be too late tonight. So I'm going to crack on and tell you all the things. So let's put the pattern down because that is the pattern. So so on Thursday night, I was making the gold. No, I think I knitted on Thursday. No, I must have started some of your stuff on Thursday night and finished it on Friday morning before I met you. I can't remember what I can't remember it all, but I know that yes, it was Gold Stars was taking up the time when I should have perhaps been knitting, but I had promised those stars for so long. I couldn't meet up with you for coffee on Friday and not have Gold Stars with me. I'd also found some gift tags that were Gold Stars. I popped those in the box as well. So she has had some Gold Stars. I hope that made up for 5.5 years of waiting for them. And we sat in Yelf's on Friday. So Yelf's is a local hotel run by one of our lovely local business people, and he is a levy payer. And that's a subject perhaps I better not get onto tonight, that corrupt levy. So let's move swiftly on. So I like to support local businesses like that because it was a local hotel. They got a cafe area that has nice I say nice armchairs and sofas. I sat down and I went, whoa, because it was lower down than I thought. I went right down, but it was very comfy. And if any of you have seen my Facebook page, you will have seen me lying there with my feet up, collapsed in this chair. And so we talked for England, didn't we, Tracy? And with Tash as well. We had a lovely time. We giggled some more. There was an incident that happened while we were in there, and good old Lynn tried to sort it out because there was a bit of rudery going on between a couple of people, and I didn't like what I saw, so I had to speak up. But we'll park that over there. Jane says she used to love knitting socks. You can't remember how many pairs you made. I might have a go at making some more, but at the moment I'm busy knitting poppies for the local church. Excellent. Yes, you have to do what you have to do. Ailey's saying she loves my nails. How much did I pay for my beautiful nails? You would say £60. No, well, I didn't. I have acrylic nails, and if they were done brand new and they were putting the acrylic nails on as well, they would have been £50. But because I've already got the acrylic nails on, and they were just doing, I think they call it an infill, don't they? I only paid £35 this time, so I was well pleased with that. Oh, Tracy, I forgot about that. Tracy's saying it's a shame her magic wand didn't work. So you... Not only did I make Tracy a box, but I made her a magic wand with a star on the top, you know, except that I seem to have forgotten to somehow supply the magic. Because if we could have waved that magic wand, we could have sorted that situation out where people were being rude to each other, and it would have been fine. But it wasn't fine. And, you know, anyway, I don't think it spoiled her afternoon, Tracy, did it? I think it just added a little je ne sais quoi to it. But, you know, I don't like bad customer service, and I don't like rude people, as most of you will know. I'm going to put the cardigan down because I'm cuddling it and don't need to cuddle it. So that cardigan, I'm going to finish this, but not until after I've done all the wedding stuff. So I'm going to finish this, and I'm going to donate it to one of the charity. We've got a charity on the island called... what do they call it? Hearts on Hangers, or Hearts for Hangers, or something. And we donate clothes, and they are given, not sold. They are given to people in dire need. So I don't think anybody's going to bother about a little bit of green there. If they get a nice cardigan like that, I think somebody would be very pleased with that. So that's what's going to happen to that. But I'm not finishing it this week because I've got other things to do. I've got a whole pile of rose gold card that I'm taking with me, and I'm going to have lots of fun crafting this week, and I will let you see after the wedding. I'm not showing any of those goodies before the wedding, not going to spoil anything, but I'm going to be in my element. Absolutely love it. I mean, when I went back, I haven't crafted for ages, and when I went to craft for Tracy, I really was in my element. You know, sparkly cards, gold cards, stars. What was not to love? I had such a wonderful idea. So that's why the cardigan didn't get finished on and in the post on Friday. So on I'll go back to that, but on Friday I worked through the night to finish it, and because I was having shenanigans with the border again, you know, that's why it took me right through. So I know the post finishes at goes at lunchtime on Saturday, so I pushed myself hard to get it finished, and I will tell you why that perhaps wasn't a great idea in a minute. So I will go back to Tracy and the Friday. So Ailey says, wait a minute. I didn't flash my unmentionables, no, but I'll tell you something funny in a minute about that. Ailey says she loves my nails. All right, she loves my beautiful nails. She's not good with nails. She likes her nails short with knitting. My daughter paid £60 for her nice nails. Right, okay, yes, there we go. Tracy says the cake in Yelf's was very nice. Lynn can't tell you how lovely it was, as she was good and didn't have any. That's right, I didn't have any cake because I wanted to stick very much to my slimming world. I did go rogue, but not at that point. And in fact, I had taken. I'll show you what I'd taken. I think I've got one in my pocket. Have I got it in my pocket? Yes. This is a Slimming World hi-fi bar, and I'm allowed 2 hi-fi bars. I'm allowed certain different things, and B choices are the things that are good for the fibre intake and that. And I can have, if I was choosing walnuts, I would be able to have 5 half walnuts. That's not a lot, is it? But 5 half walnuts, or I could have 2 of these hi-fi bars, because they Slimming World work it all out. They optimize the food, and so 2 of these. Wow, that's exciting. Much more exciting than 5 half walnuts. I think I can have 20 almonds. And some weeks, some days I've done that. I've just had a bowl of fruit and yogurt and put some nuts on the top. But it's not the same as 2 hi-fi bars. So anyway, I took my hi-fi bars with me to Yelf's. And then I blooming couldn't find them, could I? I got so much stuff in my bags. I'd done some shopping as well, hadn't I? So I'd got some shopping in the bag. So I couldn't find the hi-fis. I was flapping about, but eventually I found them, didn't I, Tracy? I think I did. Oh, look, she's telling tales on me. She said, I even got my knitting out in Yelf's, but only did 1 row as we were chatting too much. We were chatting and we were giggling and laughing too much, weren't we, Tracy? And we met. What time did we meet? We met at 10 to 2, I think, didn't we? We met. I got down there at 10 to 2, and you got down there on the bus at 10 to 2, and we left. What time did we leave, Tracy? I think we were there. Wasn't it getting on for 6 by the time we left, or something like that? I think it was a long time. I think we were there about 4 hours, weren't we? So that's, yes, PM. Ailey's daughter likes black and white nails. Well, there you go. And if you're having a theme of black and white, that would be a good thing too. Like we had when we were knitting in COVID, we had different themes, and one fortnight we had black and white, didn't we? Right. Oh, that's it. Tracy's saying that Stephen picked her up at 6. Yes, so he came and collected her. So I rang a taxi, and oh my goodness, the taxi. So Tracy and Steve and Tash were just due to go off, and I'd rung a taxi, and I said, well, don't wait, you go. But by the time that they were just coming out of Yells, the taxi was there already. The taxi driver had just come on duty, and he was literally 2 streets away. So that was amazing. And then I had another lucky thing with a taxi on Saturday. So let's go to Saturday, because, oh my goodness, the shenanigans. Right. So I told you that I hadn't done my cardigan by the time I left Tracy. It still was to do. And the post goes at 12 o'clock on Saturday. So you need to get down there and make sure you've got it into the post office well before 12, in case there's any hiccup there and it doesn't get into the bag when the Royal Mailman comes. So I was doing this cardigan, and I knitted all the way through the night, but it took me longer because I kept getting this trouble with the border. Real shenanigans. So I knitted and knitted and knitted, re-knitted one of the borders 3 times, and then realised if I put extra stitches in it, it would solve the problem. So on that side, I tried it 3 times. On the other side, I got it straight away because I put the extra stitches in, and so that worked. So there we go. That was Saturday. So I had not been to bed. I'd been up all night. So I was a bit daft, and I know I'm daft, and I realised how silly I was, because I was going to do a bit of shopping. I'm travelling tomorrow and hadn't got much for my picnic, and if I don't have a decent picnic when I travel, then I might buy some rogue stuff and put the weight back on, because only things that would be available would be things on a kiosk on the station. And, you pay top price for a bar of chocolate, and then a bar of chocolate is not perhaps the right thing I should be eating. So I wanted to go and shop go to Iceland. So I got the taxi to drop me at the post office, near the post office that's at the top of Ryde, because Iceland is just 2 or 3 doors away. So that's where Tracy's saying she feels awful. Sorry, Lynn, your fault again. No, it's not your fault at all. It's my choice what I do, and it's not your fault at all. Not your fault at all. It's my fault. Totally my fault. Please don't accept any other blame. Otherwise, I'll have to be giving you more gold stars, which could lead to more shenanigans. Anyway, so the fact is I'm all right, Tracy, and you know, and you can see I'm all right. But I did have an issue. And so, as I say, I had posted the parcel, and I thought, oh, I'll go to Iceland. And then I thought, no, perhaps I won't. Perhaps I'll go further down. I had a thought of doing something else. I was going to go to Arrowton Barnes to meet Gordy of Gordy's Wood, and talk to him about the little hats that are going to go on the snowmen, like the smoothie hats. And so, because I'm going to be away, I thought, oh, I'll go and see him. And so that required getting on a bus, and it was about an hour and a half if I went from Ryde. If I went one way, if I went from Ryde on the number 8, it would be an hour and a half. If I went into Newport and then got the number 8, I think it cut the journey down by about half an hour. I can't remember. Anyway, I was a bit undecided as to what to do. And I started walking back down, and then I suddenly thought, no, I do need to go to Iceland. I'd stopped and had a conversation with somebody that I met as well. And then I thought, no, I do need to go to Iceland. And I suppose maybe I was rushing a bit. I don't know, because I was conscious of what time the buses went. I had plenty of time if I was going to catch the number 8 from Ryde. And I think in the end I decided I would get the number 8 from Ryde, because I could sit and knit smoothie hats on the road and just chill out and relax. But anyway, so I decided I would go back to Iceland, having come away from Iceland. I'd go back. So I went there, and I just got to the door of Iceland, and I felt suddenly very lightheaded. And, you know, when your eyes start doing that and, you know, you feel a bit woozy, any of you had that sort of feeling? Well, I got inside the shop, just got inside the shop. So I was away from the door, and the doors were like, they were, I think they're automatic doors in there, aren't they? Yes, yeah. And so just getting inside the door, and I was feeling more woozy. I thought, I'm going to fall over. I'm going. And I hadn't had any drop of alcohol, but the trouble was I also had not had anything much to drink, and I had not had anything to eat. I'd forgotten to have my breakfast. I was going to buy, as I say, I was going to buy some food in Iceland, and I was going to actually picnic on the bus. That was the plan, because I hadn't had time to eat because I was doing the knitting. But, you know, it's the only fault that can be blamed is with me. You know, it was a very silly thing to do. I've learnt my lesson, and I won't do it again, she says. I hope I won't. Anyway, so what happened, I was feeling woozy, and to stop myself falling, low sugar, yeah, possibly, Carol, to stop myself falling, I went to hold on to one of those, you know, those bins that they have in the shops that have tins of food or packets of food. You know, you've got the shelves, and then you've got things to tempt you along the way. I grabbed hold of that. Well, that wasn't the brightest idea, because as I grabbed hold of it, I was already falling. And as I was falling, it was falling with me, and it landed on top of my legs. Now, I have no idea how I came out of that totally unscathed. I did not hurt myself at all. I cannot believe I didn't hurt myself, especially when this thing with tins in it landed on top of me. How did I not hurt myself? I think that was magic wand, Tracy, maybe, or somebody was looking after me. You know, somebody with a higher power. Well, so I was on the floor, right? And nobody came in the shop. Now, I was just, as you go into Iceland, I was on the floor there. So the tills are here, but the tills are manned by people who can't see this aisle, because No, they didn't come running quickly, Tracy. They didn't. Because, so I'm not lying on the floor here. They did eventually, Carol, they did eventually help me. So you've got a big, they stack all the goods up, don't they? So I was down on the floor and the tills were the other side of, this big shelf thing. So they couldn't see me, but I did use my teacher's voice and say, help! Oh, hello, Heather. Hello, I didn't see you come in. Heather's coming in there on Facebook, coming in from the States. No, I was going, help! I need help. I'm on the floor. I yelled once, nobody came. I yelled twice, nobody came. I yelled 3 times and a chap appeared. And he had red on his top. And they wear red and black in there. So I thought he was a member of staff. Heather saying my guardian angels were on duty. They most certainly were. The same as that night the night the people saved my life in the hospital. Maybe they'd had a bit of extra guidance. I don't know. They were fantastic the night they saved my life there. Anyway, this was not life-threatening. I was just on the floor. Hang on a minute. Let me have a drink. So there I was on the floor. Anyway, this chap came running round and he said, how are you? And somebody else appeared as well. And they then decided to help me up. Because, of course, not only is it a bad thing to fall, but when you're somebody like me, once you get down, you can't get up very easily unless you can find something to grab on to get up. Anyway, these 2 lovely people said, would you like us to help you up? So they grabbed my arms and they helped me up. And then they were looking to see how else they could help me. I mean, this was amazing. I don't know where they must have dumped their shopping down, the shopping baskets down on the floor over the other side, because they didn't have their shopping. They came running round. And so, of course, my walker is Navy Nora. That's right. Absolutely, Carol, you've got it. She's saying, where's Nora? Navy Nora had my shopping bag on the top. So I said, oh, let's take the shopping bag off the top and I will sit down on Navy Nora for a minute. Because they said, oh, shall we go and get you a chair? I said, you don't need to. I've got a seat here. By this time, there were no Iceland staff with me yet. And, as somebody else pointed out afterwards, I said, well, they didn't see me. And somebody said, well, what about CCTV? All the shops have CCTV. So obviously they don't watch their CCTV very much because they would have seen me lying on the floor. Anyway. Oh, getting too excited. Hi, Sam. So anyway, long story short was that they helped me up. I sat on Navy Nora. Then 2 members of staff did appear and they were concerned for me as well. And so once I was sitting on the chair and the staff had arrived, I said to the other people, go back and finish off your shopping. I am so grateful to you for helping me. It's just so nice to have people that care. Once they knew that they needed to care, but because nobody could see me, moral of this story: if you're going to have a fall, do it where people can see you. Except you would think in the aisle just inside the door of Iceland, you would think that people would be coming in to do their shopping, wouldn't you? Except they weren't. Heather saying she's so glad I wasn't injured. So am I. But you know what? I have learnt my lesson. I have owned up to being silly. I've owned up to my daughter and to one of my very good friends, and actually, so somebody said, had I eaten and had I drunk? And I hadn't had anything much to drink. I think I'd had maybe one little drink that in the morning, but not enough, So I was probably dehydrated. Hadn't had my breakfast. Tracy, no, the Iceland staff did not fill in an accident report. That's interesting, isn't it? Maybe I need to get back to them. And the member of staff did say, oh, I'll go and tell the manager. But then they didn't reappear. And then what I did, I rang ride taxis. I don't not long been delivered by ride taxi to post the parcel. Then I'm ringing them again and I'm saying, oh, I'm in Iceland, but I've had a fall and I need to go home. And they're so good. They know me so well on ride taxis. And they said, oh, we'll have a taxi as soon as we can get it there. And it was like, a minute or two before the taxi came. So I was delivered home. And you know what I did? I came home. I went and had a good drink of water. Didn't stop to eat. I went to bed and I slept. Was that the... Yes, because it was Friday. Wait a minute. What day was it? No, that was Saturday. That's right. It was yesterday. I went to bed and I slept. Well, I was asleep. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think what time it was. I had a very, very long sleep. Slept for hours and hours and hours and hours. 8 hours, I think I slept for. I never sleep for 8 hours. I did actually have to wake up once or twice, but to sleep so long without many trips to the loo was amazing. And I went straight back to bed and straight back to sleep. And it was good, solid sleep. Yes, I think it was about 6 o'clock. But wait a minute. Does that make any sense? It can't have been. It must have been earlier than that because I was down in town. It was, do you know what? I can't remember because I went down to town to catch the post before 12. So no, it must have been earlier than that. Must have been earlier than that, Tracy. I think I thought it was 6, but I didn't know. It wasn't. I slept a long, long time. I just thought the best thing to do is go straight to bed and have a drink, but not stop to eat because I just wanted to get on the bed and sleep. And I slept and I slept and I slept. So I slept around. So I thought I'd said it was 6 o'clock, but it must have been earlier than that, Tracy. I'm pretty sure because it's about 1 o'clock, I think. Well, I don't know. Anyway, really, I'm not too worried. I just know that I slept and slept after all of that. So let's have a look. Yeah, so Ailey says she bought an Isle of Wight ornament. Yeah, I saw that. Ailey bought a lovely shape of the Isle of Wight filled with coloured sands. It looked like it was filled with coloured sands from Allen Bay. That's what gets sold as souvenirs from the Isle of Wight. We have coloured cliffs at Allen Bay, and years ago you used to be able to go and get the sand off the cliffs themselves, but due to erosion over the years, you can't do that. You can't go up the cliffs. They have the sand in the shop, and you can fill the things with coloured sand, all the different shapes with coloured sand. But I remember being there. As a child, I remember being at Allen Bay. And it was the year that my suitcase got left behind. So all my clothes in my suitcase didn't make it on holiday with us. And so Mum had to buy me some new clothes. And you're like this, Ailey. One of the things I had new was a pair of tartan trousers. I loved tartan, and I had a pair of red tartan trousers. And I can remember rolling down the sandy cliffs, the bottom part of the cliffs, rolling down the sand in my nice new tartan trousers. Funny things to remember, isn't it? But Ailey's just bought one of those ornaments in her charity shop in Scotland, and she's put a picture up of it. I couldn't believe it. Sam's saying he's really happy about Sam Aston won Dancing on Ice. I don't watch Dancing on Ice, Sam, but I hope that you enjoyed it very much. That's it. And Carol's suggesting that I make sure I also got a biscuit or two in my pocket just in case you feel lightheaded again. Yes, a hi-fi bar. That's what I will do. I will keep one in there just in case. I had a little episode, Sam. I was tired and I hadn't had much to eat and drink, and I went first. But you know what, folks? What I didn't say was I think my new glasses had something to do with it. So I think it wasn't just the fact that I hadn't eaten and drank, but of course these ones. That's why I swapped my glasses earlier. So these are not my new glasses. These that look exactly the same are my new glasses, right? These are my new glasses. They look exactly the same because they're the same frames. But I can read the screen better with this old pair because this is all the bit for close reading like that. I wore these like that so that if I wanted to look into the distance, I could look over the top, because that's how it worked for me. But what I've now got is varifocals. If I put these on now and I'm looking up like that, that goes all fuzzy. But if I was reading lower down, if I was reading down here, it will be fine. So these ones, now I've got myself muddled up as to which is which. Hang on. Whoops, no, hang on. These are the new ones, because you've gone fuzzy there because you're too high up. The bottom bit, this bit down here, is for the reading. So I've got to put my old glasses on to read your comments. Oh my goodness me. I think I need to mark which is the new pair and the old pair. Thank you. Let's just have a look. Carol, I didn't eat before I went to bed, but I've made sure I've eaten very well today. So not an issue today, and making sure I'm having lots to drink as well. And that's Ailey saying yes, that was sand in the ornament, and Carol saying no skipping meals, it's not good for you, even if it's just a light bite to eat. Absolutely, Carol, you're right. I must not do that anymore. Tracy's saying fancy making a mess of Iceland's posh display. I'm not sure that Iceland's display was that posh, you know, Tracy. Have you been in Iceland? Never mind. The thing is, I can laugh about it. It wasn't life-threatening, fortunately, you know, so it's not a major issue. I've learnt my lesson. I'm going to finish the broadcast in a minute so that I can get a lot of sleep tonight, because I'm travelling tomorrow. So I'm sure you'll totally understand when I, you know, finish the broadcast very soon. So there you go. Carol's saying she has to be careful being a diabetic, even though you're trying to lose weight or your sugar goes low. Yes, absolutely. Make sure I take old ones with me on my travel. Old what? I've forgotten. What do you mean? Oh, no, what did you mean, Tracy? Jane has got a dog which has coloured sand in. It was about 7 years old. Sorry, she was about 7 years old when she went on holiday. I still remember filling it. My brother had a lighthouse. Yes, that's right. So they had all these wonderful shapes. Oh yes, my glasses. Sorry. I'm just what a bird brain I am. Take my old glasses with me. Yes, I will. And there we are. You see, Carol was saying I was just trying to flash my knickers. Well, I might have been trying to flash my knickers, but I usually wear trousers, so that'd be a bit difficult flashing your knickers if you fall over in trousers. So no, I didn't flash my knickers, but I did have two wonderful members of the public help me up, and I did have then members of staff who were concerned, but no, they didn't fill in an accident book. But fortunately, no damage done. I not even a little. I can't believe I haven't even got a scratch or a little scrape from the thing falling on my legs. Fortunately, you see, well, maybe fortunately or not fortunately, there wasn't much in that basket, which is obviously why it went over. If it had been heavy with tins, one of two things could have happened. It might have been so heavy it didn't tip, and I would have been okay, it would have steadied me, or it might have come over and all the tins land on top of me. So I don't know. I'm not going back to try it again, I tell you. So Tracy's saying that's twice in 2 days I've been trying to flash my knickers. Was I trying to flash my knickers the other day as well? Oh my goodness, I can't remember. Ailey's saying I've been helping a lot of charities recently and making sure clients are getting the right support when it comes to their mental health wellness. Good for you, Ailey. I would like to make people aware that there is help before suicidal thoughts. And this is so important. And you know, I've got another thing I'm going to tell you about possible prevention of suicide in a minute. Something that happened today. No, I wasn't thinking of suicide. Let me finish this bit, then I'll tell you that story. Always ask a family member or close friend for help. Your brother. Wait a minute. Always ask a family member or close friend for help. Your brother Danny died at age 22 due to depression and suicidal. Very sad. I really wish Danny opened up to you back in 1983. Danny was a very nice brother. His hobby was making wooden bird boxes for charity. And of course, lots of you will know that one of my brothers took his life. I think that was made worse. That was in COVID time around. No, I think COVID made it a lot worse. So yes, but the incident today, and this is why I bang on about a lot of things to do with disability. When I'm doing all my shouting about things that are not helping people with disability, it's not so much necessarily for me, it's for all those other people out there who don't have a voice to shout themselves. Now, as you know, I've had shenanigans, and some of them have been laughable, but some of them haven't. Now, imagine a person for whom that became a major incident, and therefore they decided they weren't going to go out. I mean, remember the time they didn't get me off the train at Reading? Remember the time when I was at Basingstoke? No, not Basingstoke. Basingstoke was good. It was Reading. 2 times at Reading. One time this guy said, I'm not getting you off. You're not on my list. You're not supposed to be on this train. So he didn't get me off. And then there was another time I was going through Reading when the passenger assist person for me didn't appear, but there was somebody who appeared for a lady who needed a wheelchair. So I just said to him, oh, I'm looking for passenger assist. I wasn't saying he had to assist me. I said, oh, do you know where my passenger... And he got right stroppy and rude. Now, why the hell are they doing a passenger assist job if they're not polite and nice? That's what I can't understand. And I am going to be... Today I've got the phone numbers to raise these complaints. I'm not having it. It's not okay. So the second guy, he just grabbed Navy Nora. So he was helping the lady with the wheelchair. And that was fine. I didn't mind him. He was helping her. He was assigned to her. What I wanted to know was where was the person assigned to me? And instead of saying, oh, I'll see if I can call somebody, he didn't, But that's okay, because he might have been in a hurry to get the lady on her next train. I get that, but he didn't need to be rude. So what he did, he grabbed Navy Nora and he dumped her on the platform. And then he went. But of course, my help is not just getting Navy Nora off, it's getting me off. And I need a ramp because my little legs don't do those steps very well. So he'd taken Navy Nora off and gone, and I somehow had to negotiate getting myself off the train down these very steep steps. It wasn't helpful, but my point there is, if somebody has that issue and travels, even if they just travelled once and they had an issue, they might decide never to travel again because it was too depressing and upsetting for them. And then if they live alone, they become lonely. Isolation sets in. And then what happens? That could lead to suicide. There'll be people who say, oh, you're talking nonsense then. No, I'm not. This is what happens. Oh, yeah. Tracy's reminding me of when I nearly tried to flash my knickers again, except that I had trousers on. When I sat on the sofa, to remember, I told you earlier in this broadcast, I sat down on the sofa and it was one of those, it was lower down than we thought it was. And I went, what? In fact, the people on the next table turned around to look and see what was going on because I went right down. Of course, if I'd been wearing a skirt, that might have flashed me knickers, but never mind. Carol saying that she knew my brother. It was very sad when it happened. It really absolutely was. There. Vivian's in the house. Hello, Vivian. Nice to see you in the broadcast. Not going to be much longer because I do need to get an early night tonight and I haven't packed. And if I don't pack all my wedding things, I might end up not having my clothes to wear. I do not want to go to the mainland without my clothes for the wedding, because that would be very sad, wouldn't it? Having to run around and get a new outfit. No, don't want to go there. Ailey says, yes, she remembers my brother. He was one of your Facebook friends. He shared band music and enjoyed taking photographs. And she calls her church brother David Redding. That's my other brother. He sent a video of my brother's funeral. My brother's stepladder that was at the front of the service. Yes, and that's a reference. My brother, he was the one who took his life, was a photographer and a very good photographer, and he used to get some fantastic shots, but he used to carry a stepladder around with him so he could get on the stepladder and get above the crowd and get those fantastic shots. And I've forgotten, what was his, do you remember what he called his stepladder, Ailey? The stepladder had a name and obviously a personality, like my Navy Nora. And so it was part of the funeral service because, you know, it was about happy memories and things like that. Even though it was sad that he took his own life, but there were a lot of people there. The church was full, and somebody did a wonderful speech about, you know, including the stepladder. And so, yes, it was very, very sad. So there we go. You love my hat. Oh, this is a hat I made last week. It's got smoothie hats on it. We're all making lots of us are making the little smoothie hats. Don't know if you can see them on there. We're making little hats for charity that go on smoothie bottles in the UK that raise funds for AIDS UK, and we're doing it for AIDS UK Isle of Wight. I can wear the Empress's Emperor's new clothes. You mean? Is that what you mean? The Emperor's suit. The king is in the altogether, the altogether, the altogether. The king is in the altogether for the day like the day that he was born. Carol is referring to a song, and it was where somebody bamboozled the king and told him that he had this wonderful suit for him to wear, and the king couldn't see it, but he didn't want to let on he couldn't see it because he'd think that everybody thought he was stupid. I think this is the gist of it, isn't it? Good night, Jean. Sam's saying his friend's saying good night. Good night, Jean. And so the king wore this new suit, which actually wasn't anything at all. Of course, he was pulling a yarn. He was pulling a fast one, and you know, just bamboozling the king. So the king didn't have any clothes on, but he thought he was wearing this wonderful suit. Anyway, that's a little aside. That's a little story there. What is neat? Do you mean these hats are neat or the story's neat, Vivian? I never know because everything moves so fast in here. You love my smoothie hat. This is my smoothie hat. Yes. So I was just going to go back onto something else then. Something else popped into my head before that, but I can't remember what it was. You would have to knit yourself an outfit. Yes. Oh dear. I would. So just trying to remember what I was just going to say. Something very funny, but I can't remember. So anyway, hats, and the smoothie hats are coming in. We've got, they're not all in yet. People are still knitting. And Linda Pugh messaged me yesterday and said she'd got 200 hats knitted that she would get to me. And of course, Dee, who runs the handbag shop down at the bottom of the High Street, at the bottom of the Union Street in Ryde, she took her 200 hats up to Isle of Wool, because I've been having a conversation in there before, hadn't I? And I think I talked about that last week, where I was in there looking for a handbag for the wedding, but didn't manage to get it, but managed to stay there more than a half an hour chatting with her and another lovely lady that came in. And we were chatting away, and we ended up talking about knitting because Dee, who runs the shop, she's 88 years old. She's a lovely lady, and she does knitting. We were talking about knitting for charity, and she said that she knitted the hats before and took them to AIDS UK. She was asking where they should go, and I think she took them to AIDS UK office, and somebody just took them from her and didn't even say thank you. You know, all those hats that these people knit, give their time, they give their wool free usually as well, they do it all, and she didn't get a thank you. I said, well, I tell you what, do you want to put them in with the Go Live Granny hats? And I told her about the challenge that Helen at Isle of Wool had challenged the Go Live Granny community to make more hats than she and her shop assistant could make in the same time. Well, they've got about 400 and something in. They've got 2 big boxes in the shop. They've got about 460 or so in those boxes. Well, I think we've gone past what their total. I mean, the whole point of having banter online is actually to raise awareness for the charity and get lots more people knitting them. So it doesn't matter which of us wins. I think we're winning a cup of coffee off the other one. I think it's no great prize or anything. We're doing it as a marketing exercise to promote the charity and let people know. But wouldn't it be great if the Go Live Granny community wins? I don't know. But poor Helen, she's got to now stop and do some actual knitting projects for the shop. Not knit. She doesn't knit. She crochets. Her shop assistant knits. So any of these things can be knitted or crocheted. And look, I've got a dangly bit here that I didn't get rid of last week, and it's still dangling there now. So wait a minute. If you hang on. Oh yes, I was going back. I was going to go back to tell you about another story about today. Tell me in a minute about today. A lady with a wheeled walker. I'll do that in a minute. Let's just finish off this. So Ailey's saying, if you can save one life, you're a blessing. One life matters. Absolutely, it does. And you know, that's what it's all about. There are far too many suicides, far more since COVID than we used to have. It's dreadful. Mental health is getting worse, and people need. I mean, the island let my brother down. I know that he and his wife had been to seek help, and they didn't get it. They didn't get it. You know, I'm ashamed to say that the Isle of Wight let my brother down, and it was dreadful. So Tracy, you make me laugh. Oh my goodness, she said you'd probably forget your clothes, but you would never forget your knitting. No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't ever forget to take my knitting. Oh, so then I would have to knit my clothes while I was, yeah. I don't think they'd let me on the hovercraft if I had no clothes on. I don't think the taxi driver would take me if I had no clothes on. And I do have my taxi booked for tomorrow, and I do have my passenger assist booked. The reason I book my taxi plenty in time is because sometimes the ride taxis there's a fault on their line, and sometimes it comes up and it says we can't connect. This number is not accepting calls. Well, it's a taxi firm, of course it's accept. They've had it investigated, and they say there's no fault on the line, but there is a fault on the line because sometimes I've rung it and it does that. Then one time I couldn't get a taxi at all. I had to go by bus. But of course, when you're off to catch a hover, you need to know that you can get there in plenty of time. But what was I going to say? What was I going to say? Anyway, so I booked it in plenty of time. Fortunately, today, or whenever I booked it, it did ring first time. Yesterday, when I booked it, it had a problem first, and then it rang the second time. Customer service costs nothing, says Tracy. Perhaps people need to retrain in customer service, especially the guy from Friday. Yes, and actually, the customer for the rude guy on Friday. I mean, I have to say that the lady who'd had an issue was also quite rude. They were both rude. And I was just trying to cool and calm a situation down. I probably made it 10 times worse, but, you know, I hate bad customer service. And I said to the manager, I said to this guy, have you, do you get any training? I wasn't trying to be rude. I was just trying to, just have a say. He said, well, I've been doing this job 10 years, which wasn't an answer to the question, was it? If you've been doing this job 10 years and you've given just that sort of response to a customer, I'm not impressed. I didn't say that. But also what he did say, well, I just came on shift. So as Tracy said, if he just came on shift and he was as rude as that when he just came on shift, what the hell was he going to be like at the end of the shift? I wouldn't want to be there. So there we go. Am I going to be knitting at the wedding? Well, Jane, I hope not, because I did. Were you listening? Were you in the broadcast when I was talking about the cardigan I had to re-knit for my granddaughter for the evening of the evening part of the wedding? And I've sent it. It went in the post and it's gone. If they message me and say it's not fitting, I've still got time to knit it again, but it could possibly be that I'm still knitting it during the wedding for the evening service. No, for the evening part of the day. No, hopefully not. Hopefully it'll be fine. And if it doesn't fit, I've got time to do it before the wedding. But I also have got I've got 11 little table decorations to make, which I will show you after the wedding. So let's see. So yes, customer service costs nothing. Perhaps people need to retrain in customer service, especially the guy from Friday. Absolutely. So Carol says she sees the ferries have been cancelled today and tomorrow again. So which ferries and why are they being cancelled, Carol? Is it weather or is it because there's an issue with the ferries? Because I haven't looked to see, but I'm going on the hover. If anybody could look up and see if the hovers are running okay, please let me know. Otherwise, I will readjust my journey. Ailey saying when she's at her worst situation in life, she messages me. Oh, well, that's nice, Ailey. I didn't realise that. She says when she's at her worst situation in life, she messages me for a chat, and that little chat does help. It might take Lynn 2 hours to get back to me, but I can always rely on a message back. Ailey, that is so kind. You know, and it's the kindness of people like you who appreciate the things I do. I mean, I do those things because I think that's the right thing to do. I don't do it for praise and accolades, but it's nice to know if it helps. Definitely nice to know if it helps. Oh dear. Tracy's saying the poor guy was scared of me. He hid from her for the rest of the afternoon. So were you impressed with the way I handle it, Tracy? You know, I'm an ex-teacher. I do not like rudery. I've spent all these years teaching people to be polite, kids to be polite to each other. I mean, and the issue was that the customers had a complaint, and the complaint was justifiable. You know, because we were sitting next to where these people were, and it was totally justifiable, the complaint. But the way it was handled was dreadful. So the guy didn't handle it at all very well. And when he came back to the table with some of their cakes in a box for them to take home, he didn't even say anything. He just plonked it down on the table. And then when I what I did, I'll tell you, I went to him and I said, you know, actually, no, I said to the lady, I will explain it. I said to the lady, please don't go out. Bearing in mind, I know the owner of the hotel, and I would hate for this to all blow up and for him not to get any customers. We'll be back, won't we, Tracy? Because we liked it in there. And I think he was very surprised to see when he came back in that we were still there, and he did hide from me for the rest of the afternoon. But the customer had a justifiable complaint, and that was fine. And I said to her, what would you like as a response? You know, what would you like to see? How would you like this resolved? Because to my mind, I'm thinking, actually, if I was running this, if I was in this situation, I would, and I had a customer who's unhappy, I would say, oh, can we give you another, let's give us another chance and let's do your free afternoon tea another day. That's what I would have suggested. But she was trying to escalate it in a bad way, and she really didn't. She obviously didn't like it. She wanted to go out and blast it all over social media. I think that's what she wanted to do, and I didn't want that to happen to a local business that I happen to rather like. But even though there was a mistake made, but everybody makes mistakes, but everybody can learn and put them right. You know, we don't all get it right 100% of the time, do we? So anyway, so I went over to him and had this conversation with him, and by this time, it was a younger woman with two older women. The older women were more my generation, and I think they would have gone the way I thought. You know, they were not joining in and shouting like she was getting irritated. Anyway, they got up and she said, "Come on, we're leaving." And at this point, the chap had said to me, "Oh, I was going to email them and offer them a free tea." I hadn't said anything about the free tea. I was going to offer them a free afternoon tea. I said, "But they're here now. Why don't you talk to them and do it now? Fix it now." I know perhaps I'm an interfering person, but, you know, not so. I don't know. I think Tracy found it entertaining anyway. Carol's saying, wait a minute, what's Carol? Carol's saying, I will be knitting hankies for the happy tears I will shed. Yes, absolutely, I could knit a hanky, couldn't I? Congratulations to the happy couple, wedding blessings and prayers. Enjoy the wedding, Lynn. I certainly will. No more falling over or doing anything like that, otherwise I'll end up in hospital and miss it, and that would not be good, would it? Issue with the ferrets. Oh, hang on. I must go in a minute because I must go and get packed. Hang on. So Carol's saying issue with the ferries and the refit. Right, so that's the car ferries. Hopefully the hover will be all right. If it's weather, obviously the hover is the first thing that gets shut down, but it's the car ferries and their refits. Okay. Ailey said last time you messaged me was when you were upset when your dad died last year. Right, I mean, and that's, I'm happy for any of you lovely people to message me. I will message you back if I can. There will be times when it's more difficult for me, but if I can, I will, even if it's just for a couple of words or a little sentence, just to help. Tracy's saying I certainly gave her a laugh on Friday, and I so needed that laugh. Yeah, because Tracy, I know it's been very difficult. Tracy has lost a best friend. She's lost her best cat, her cat that's had a lovely cat for many, many years, and other issues which I won't actually go into here. But Tracy's had a series of things that have not put her on top of the world. So my mission is to try and get her back there or make her giggle. And I didn't know all that was going to happen, and I didn't know it was going to entertain you so well, Tracy. But I'm glad I made you laugh. We laughed so much, your sides hurt, but I definitely needed it. So thank you, Lynn, even with the shenanigans. Well, it is what it is. I like to inspire, educate, and entertain. I hope I've done some of that. So Ailey saying, Lynn, you're you are a blessing to your community, unaware to yourself that you can't remember. I know I don't remember. But what I am going to do is I'm just going to go back to that story that I have remembered about when I was down the road today. So because I didn't go in Iceland yesterday, I didn't have any shopping in for my picnic tomorrow when I'm traveling. And if I don't eat, what might happen? And if I eat the wrong things, then I'm going to expand. So I wanted, a slimming world amount of food that I could make my picnic for tomorrow. So I have a shop at the bottom of the road, and it's like 5 minutes walk to the bottom of the road. It's downhill a little bit. Coming back, obviously, it's a bit uphill, but it's not majorly uphill. So I decided I'd go out while it was still nice and sunny before it started getting cold, because I don't do cold. Since I had pneumonia, I always try to avoid being out if it's very cold. So I went down, and isn't this funny? Because I think the Lord moves in a very mysterious way. Because first of all, I should have been getting the shopping in Iceland yesterday, but I was getting it in my local shop today. Secondly, I've been trying to get out for ages, but I was chatting online with Kath, and kept saying, "Oh, I'm going to the shop. I must go to the shop in a minute." And I kept saying I must go to the shop and didn't. And then I eventually did go to the shop. Well, two amazing things happened. Amazing or whatever. Two things happened when more action will happen as a result. So I was coming back. So I got in the shop and I went round and did some bits and pieces. And then my next door but one neighbour came in, and I haven't seen him for ages. I think some of the people around here think I pop my clogs, because whereas I used to be out in the garden and people would see me in the garden or see me coming and going a lot, nobody's seen me. And my immediate next door neighbours, the new chaps next door, they said, "Oh, we haven't seen you for a long time." And then I met somebody else from the estate. She said, "Oh, I haven't seen you for a long time." I think they probably all thought I popped my clogs. I'm getting old. Why wouldn't they think that? Anyway, I said, no, I'm here, and I filled them in as to what I've been up to. And so anyway, I hadn't seen Jack for a while, and they're the family that looked after me when I came out of hospital so ill. And of course, I came out of hospital the day before Christmas Eve in 2022. So travel plans were not going to happen anytime soon. I was supposed to be with my son that's getting married for that Christmas and his family. But obviously travelling was not an option. I was hooked up to the oxygen, and they'd only let me out of hospital as long as I was very, very sensible. And I wasn't not going to be sensible when my life was under threat. So my next door one neighbours were brilliant. They came in and they checked on me. They did the readings that the hospital needed. They only let me out of hospital because I was like on a virtual ward where I could... there's me saying I wasn't going to be long on this broadcast, and I just see what the time is. It's like a virtual ward, so you're at home, but you have to take your blood pressure readings and various things and ring them in. But they came in and did them for me. They were amazing. So they came in and did the readings for me. Not only that, but they made me Christmas dinner because, of course, I was on my own. I don't have a problem being on my own. Being on my own at Christmas, I've done it before, but actually it's quite nice to be with family. But when you're so ill, you don't really care. You just want to be getting better. Anyway, I was absolutely delighted that they offered me a Christmas dinner. They said, we don't know what time it will be in. Don't know what time we'll bring it in, but it will arrive at some stage. And it was the most beautiful Christmas dinner. I was so thrilled. And they've looked after me ever since. I let them keep my key, because if I did have an emergency, or sometimes something happens and I need them, like if I was coming home when it was very cold, I'd message them and they'd come in and put my heating on for me so the flat was warm when I got back. Things like that. They are wonderful. So anyway, I was chatting to Jack, and those of you who saw me do my live streaming from the garden way back, this is annoying me. That thing is annoying me. Let's get rid of that, and let's have... Whoa, I had something else here that I was going to put on my head. I don't know, it's not here. Oh, yes, it is. I put the cardigan on top of it. Silly me. Let's have some bunny ears because I can. I'm like the what's the bunny with the batteries in it? So hang on, let's hang on, let's just go back. I'll go back to Jack in a minute. Right. Tracy's saying it wasn't even the fact of him hiding, it was his moaning about the customers to other staff. Did you actually hear any of that conversation, Tracy? I wasn't aware what he was actually saying, but it very much looked like he was doing a... You know when you can tell that people are talking like that about you or about something, that sort of situation. So I think that's probably... I think you're quite right. But he... I got up and went to the loo, so I walked past where he was standing, and you could see him shrinking, trying to make himself look like one of the cupboards in that area. It didn't work, but I didn't embarrass him further. I could have done, but I wasn't that devilish. Ailey says we all make mistakes and learn from our mistakes. Carol says, was the issue with the ladies in the earth settled? No, not really. They went out and he said he was going to email them, and no, it wasn't resolved, so I don't know. Anyway, cats and pets are family members, yes, and so obviously there's you know, when we lose our pets, it's very sad times, isn't it? I don't think I probably did get very upset when I lost my goldfish, but then I was little, so you know. Anyway, right, Ailey sent a friend request, Tracy. Carol say, I've got 2 Slimming World dinners for this week. Excellent. Do you know what? I make my meals from scratch because some of those Slimming World meals are not gluten free, so I have to be careful of those, and so I'm making most things from scratch. My daughter has Slimming World meals, and they're lovely, aren't they, for when you really haven't got time or can't be bothered. But you know, on the days when I don't have much time or I can't, you know, can't be bothered, I will have something that's very quick. I've got 1 or 2 recipes, you know, meals that are very quick to make. Sometimes it's just a jacket potato, a few minutes in the microwave, and pop some cheese on it. That's part of my cheese allowance from Slimming World. And some salad. That's very quick. So Ailey's saying, yes, the Lord moves in amazing ways. Your friend Ian missed being involved with a car crash because he went back home to get his lunchbox. Oh my goodness, that's well, what a good job he forgot his lunchbox. So Carol was on the virtual ward when she had COVID last June. They rang you every day. Yes, that's what they would do here. They would ring me for the readings. So Energizer Bunny, that's it, Heather. I couldn't remember what it was. I'm mentally blocked. Or Duracell as well. Those batteries are supposed to go on, but I think it is the Energizer Bunny, isn't it, that I was thinking of probably. Vivian loves my bunny ears. Thank you, Vivian. Where are you coming in from, Vivian? You're not in the UK, are you? Are you in the States? I can't remember. So anyway, Tracy and Ailey now our friends on Facebook. Ailey saying she's still knitting rabbits from knitted squares. Lynn, she remembers your mum making rabbits from face cloths. That's right. So my mum, when I was little, used to get a face cloth and roll it up and make it into a bunny and make with bunny ears, and we put a bar of soap with it and give it as a teacher's present. And of course we can knit squares like that and make them into different things like that. Anyway, I'm going to go back to the story of being down the road with Jack. And so I said to Jack, because Jess had messaged me, that's his sister, and asked if I got any spare flower pots. Well, of course, those of you who've known me a long time know that I had a wonderful garden that I made during COVID and won Ride in Bloom certificates twice in 2 years, and it was all beautiful out there. Then I got ill, didn't I? So what happens to a garden when you get ill? Because it wasn't shrubs, it was container garden not with shrubs in, but just the annuals. And so it's looking pretty. It would get the certificate for the worst garden, I think, now. And so I want to get rid of it, and bit by bit I'm trying to get rid of it. But I'm gonna pay somebody. Ace Waste. I'm going to ask for a quote from Ace Waste to see if they can clear most of it. But Jess had messaged me and saying, did I have any spare pots? So I said to Jack, get Jess to get in touch with me and come and get some pots, because I'm going to get rid of all this lot. And I said, I don't know what to do with this garden, because originally, before COVID, it was just a patch of grass. I hated cutting the grass because I found it quite tiresome. And so my daughter had said, why don't you put it, or somebody said, why don't you put it all back to grass? And I thought, then I'll be cutting the grass. But actually, I won't. I'll be paying, if I do that, I'll be paying somebody to cut the grass. So anyway, so I was saying to Jack, I don't know what to do with it. And he said, what you really need to do is he said you would want a few plants. So he said you could have planters along the edge, because it's straight onto the pavement. We don't have any division between my garden and the pavement, and all the neighbours loved it when it was pretty and all those flowers. And they used to tell me, oh, Vivian's coming in from Kentucky, thank you. So during COVID, I used to be out there gardening, and I met all the neighbours and they'd all chat with me, and it was lovely. But it's a disgrace now. But I'm not ever going to be able to do it like I did it before. And actually, my needs of wanting to do that, I did it a lot. I did the garden to entertain my audience as well as to enjoy it myself, and the neighbours enjoyed it. But now I don't want to spend all my time in the garden, because I've discovered papercraft since I was ill, and I do a lot of knitting. So I would rather sit down there doing my knitting in the garden. And before COVID, I never would have sat in the front garden right by the street. I mean, in COVID, I was in the garden and I was far enough away as people went by. That was okay. But I never would have sat in a front garden like that before. But the world has changed. And Jack said to me, you like sitting in your garden, don't you? Oh, hi, Patricia. Patricia's just come in. That's it. We've been talking smoothie hats. Patricia gave me a whole bag of smoothie hats the other day. We've been talking smoothie hats. I did have my smoothie hat on just now, but I took it off and put my bunny ears on. Hazel's saying hello to Patricia there as well, because they are both coming in. They're both in on Facebook. So Facebook people can see Facebook comments and and sorry, they're both on YouTube. YouTube people can see YouTube comments. Yeah, Carol, I must say goodnight in a minute and go to sleep. I've got to pack and get to sleep, but I'm just gonna finish off now. So I was just seeing Jack, and he said, "Well, you love sitting out there." He said, "Why don't I?" He said, "I'll draw a little plan up for you. You know, they are so nice, my neighbours." And he said, "I can get so much discount." He said, "Probably some grass and some plants around the edge or something." So he's going to draw a plan up for me. I said, "And then can I pay you to do that?" And he said yes. And I was so pleased because I know him, and that's really good. So he's going to draw me a plan up. Then I messaged him later because I forgot that one bit of my garden I would now like as a parking space, because there's a parking issue out here and I don't have a dedicated parking space. Although I'm not a driver, I have people come to see me and people to come to pick me up. And if there was a dedicated parking space up here. So I've messaged him, but he hasn't seen that message yet and said, I want a parking space there. So that hopefully will happen as well. So anyway, he went, and then I paid for my shopping, and I came out of the shop and I went across the road, and where I crossed the road are dropped curbs. And I was with my Navy Nora, and off I go across the curb. There was a lady coming the other way with a rollator, so one of those smaller than Navy Nora, so it's got a tiny little bag underneath it, and it's a seat, but it's got more of those wheels that swivel around. On Navy Nora, I can let the wheels swivel, or I can clip them so they go straight, and I like to clip them. I don't like rolling, wheels to go. They take me all over the place. It's bad enough anyway, getting anywhere. So anyway, she was on a rollator, and the bit of path where she was coming was a bit narrow. So I said, I'll wait. Don't rush. I'll wait till you cut through. And that saved me going on the grass. And she was with somebody else. And so we stopped to chat. And then she pointed to the dropped curb. And the dropped curb has got those bumps on it for blind people. Well, that's okay, but her rollator wheels get stuck in the bumps. And she finds it incredibly hard to get down, to get across the dropped curb bit. And I hadn't realised, because Navy Nora doesn't have those wheels, she goes across that better than that lady's wheels. No, Carol's saying I'll have to pay to have a drop curb. No, I won't, Carol, because where I live, my flat, so imagine this is my front garden here. There's a dropped curb here because there's a driveway round to the back of the flats where the garages are. So there's already a drop curb there. So all anybody would have to do is come on the drop curb and turn onto that bit of the garden. So I won't have to pay for a drop curb. It's dead easy. It's just in and like that, instead of going under the archway and round the back, just onto my front bit. So I don't have to, I'm lucky that I don't have to pay for that. Anyway, I said to Jack, let me know how much it will be, and we'll see when I can afford to have that done. And so, I think that's, I was so pleased, so nice of him to say, let me cost that all out for you and whatever. And he knows that I can't afford a lot. So that's why he offered me to find the discounts for me, because he's in the trade. He's a tradie. What is that? What you call him? A tradie. So he has discounts. So that's good. So anyway, back to the lady with the rollator. So I said to her, do you mind if I just take a picture? I won't take a picture of your face and all that. I'll take a picture of your legs and your rollator and the curb. So I did that, and then I did a little bit of video of her there with the curb as well. And then when she'd gone, I did a video of me talking about it and saying, I understand why the bumps are there. That's for blind people. But wait, hang on a minute. What about the people with wheels? It's really difficult for the people with wheels. So you need a solution that works for both. I'm not saying don't do it for the blind people, but there must be some sort of solution. And then I went on to say too, you see, that sort of thing might make somebody like that lady, she had somebody with her, but maybe if she hadn't got somebody with her, she wouldn't want to go out, because she wouldn't be able to get down those bumpy bits across the road. And then again, she'd stay in. it would lead to isolation, and it might lead to somebody thinking, well, what the heck am I doing here anyway? Don't go out. I don't see anybody. So what's the point? And it could lead to more suicides. So guess what? After the wedding, not before, after the wedding, I shall put that in my campaign file, and I shall present to council and say, what are you going to do for these people? So there we go. So that's it. I'm going to go now, folks, and I really am going to go. So Ailey's saying, am I right in saying that the community helped to pay for Novi Nora? They did. Yes, the community did pay for Novi Nora. I'd had my other shopping trolley, but I needed one that had a seat on it. And so I was buying one myself, but I couldn't afford the deluxe model with the arms and the back. And then my community got wind of what I was doing, and they had a whip round, and they had enough money for me to buy the deluxe model. So Navy Nora was paid for by the Go Live Granny community, and that you've used Navy Nora so much that you hardly ever leave home without her. I rarely leave home without her. If I'm going somewhere, you know, where you can park, whoever's taking me can park right outside, or it's just a few yards, I can hold somebody's arm, and that works for me. When I go to my daughter's, we don't always take her every time. If we go into the supermarket, we don't bother, because my daughter will go and get a trolley, and I can hang on to the trolley. So there are lots of things where I don't need it. And yes, Eunice had a problem with the bumpy drop curve. She fell and hurt her back 3 years ago. Well, thank you. I'm sorry that she did that, but actually that adds more weight to my, you know, to the fact that I'm going to raise this, and it's not going to be okay that they do this. They must. It's no good putting a drop curve and then not being easy for people. Tracy's saying, have a lovely time. I shall look out for the shenanigans tomorrow. I know there will be some along the way. You might be wrong. You might indeed be wrong, but never mind. I expect there will be some sort of shenanigans. And Ailey saying it might have been Inga. We put donations to fix her mobility scooter. We did get her. We were helping with the mobility scooter, and in the end, I don't know whether we fixed it and then there was another problem, but in the end, I gave her the mobility scooter that my mum had left. And you know, one of my family said, oh, you shouldn't have done that because you might need it. And I thought, well, I don't need it now, and I might never need it. And when I do need it, maybe somebody will pay it forward to me. So that's what I did, because I don't see the point of keeping it when somebody else has a need. Anyway, I must go now. Night, Lynn. Have a wonderful week, says Tina, with your family, and I hope all goes well with the wedding. Yes, and you will hear all about it. So hopefully on Monday week, that's when I won't live stream next Sunday, but probably on Monday. So watch out for Monday, and you will hear all about it. If I'm wide enough awake to stay awake and tell you all about it, but I expect I will be on a high. So anyway, night, everybody. Night from Scotland, says Ailey. I'm going to love you and leave you. Thank you for joining me. I love you lots. So please, Bob, finish having a lovely holiday. Not holiday, birthday. Oh gosh, my brain. And Paul, have a wonderful birthday on Friday. And thank you for all your good wishes. Heather saying, thank you for sharing your life with us. I truly enjoy listening to you. Sleep well and enjoy yourself at the wedding. I certainly will. What's not to love, you know, seeing my son get married to this wonderful girl who's really fitted into our family so well and made my son come alive again. And, you know, and they've produced a lovely family, and that's wonderful. I will have my other 2 children there. I will have all my grandchildren and all my children. I will have my siblings and a lot of other people that I know or don't know yet, but I will. Night, says Patricia. Susan's going to catch up week Monday as you're out that night. Oh, that's all right. Yes, but you just catch up then. Safe travels. Enjoy your family in that time and the wedding. And Tracy saying, thank you, Lynn. Remember here if you need me through the week. Thank you, Tracy. That's wonderful. It's great that we're all there for each other and help each other. Enjoy time away. Do you remember the Scrabble for money at weddings? No, I don't. But anyway, I'm not going to go into that one now, Ailey, because I need to go to bed. No, I don't need. I need to pack first and I need to sort my food out so that I make sure that that's all ready to pop into my lunchbox tomorrow. Night night, everybody. Thank you so much. Night night, Hazel, and everybody from wherever you're coming in. See you again next week. Have a wonderful week, and I'll see you soon. Oh, children used to pick up all the pennies at wedding. I've never seen that one. Okay, I don't think we'll be throwing money. I think that might be a bit of a health and safety issue. Night night. Bye.